I've had a project where, they've decided they want to knock out a wall. We've had to do a full structural redesign to remove the wall, and it cost 90 grand to do the redesign. If you don't get to the right starting point and move forward and agree with the client how you're going to move forward, the problems will build from day one. So I think having a clear budget up front is really important. Making sure that the design team is all aware of that budget. Having a quantity surveyor in the room so that if the architect suggests something, it's going to look amazing, but those in the room that might not appreciate the cost of it. Often the designs progress quite far, and to undo these certain things takes time. So I think getting cost control up front is really, really important. Once you move into construction, I think the biggest issues I've had are from unclear contracts. If the contract isn't clear, or it's ambiguous, or documents are missing, or references, or people can't find documents, that's what often leads to arguments and issues with variations during construction. Some of the biggest issues we have are with authorities, and that's consistent across all projects. So understanding your authorities up front is going to save you a big headache during construction, and also testing what you can on site before builders start pricing it, so there's no surprises. And that's for things like contamination, geotech, and whatever other studies you need to undertake up front.
Okay, so would you say that sort of stuff, testing and knowing your authorities, are the main key decisions and things you need to work out at the start of the project to make sure the rest of it kind of follows well?
I'm a believer that authorities, if you're not looking at what authorities you need to deal with from day one, the project's already at risk. Because we find the biggest delays come from authorities.
Would you agree with that, Ella?
Yeah, 100%. And especially because these authorities, it's sort of out of our control on how long it might take to get a response back. And so you've really got to factor that into your work. I mean, every project is different, no two the same. I would have to say time, again, the time, cost, and quality are obviously key three areas that may dictate how the client may view the job being a successful one. Every job will always have changes come about. No job from the get-go is going to be to its original budget. It's more than likely always going to increase. So it's just ensuring that the client's obviously aware of that, and that you prepare for those changes if and when they do arise.
There's a cost blowout, and then there's a budget blowout. So if you've got a contract sum with a builder, clients need to make sure that they've got a contingency in place. There's always going to be things that weren't foreseen. Well, the three biggest cost blowouts I think are authority driven, whether it's all of a sudden the AUSgrid says you need to replace or do a brand new substation instead of tapping into an existing substation. They might backflip throughout the project. Latent conditions, whether it's contamination, whether the geotechnical or the subsurface isn't as expected, whether you find some archaeological finding in the ground. And then the third one is client-driven changes. To Ella's point, as you build, more things get uncovered, more people get involved often. Some key stakeholders change. Great example is if you've got an operator coming in and they come in later into the project and they might want to tweak a few things to improve how the project runs once it's actually delivered. That's going to result in additional or some redesign, additional costs, or likely additional cost. Yeah, so I think those are the three key things you've got to prepare for and have contingency in place for.
Perfect. And just following up from that, so let's say you've got a brand new client, maybe they've never built anything major before, and they've never seen what a variation looks like in their life. They don't understand variations. Can you walk me through what sort of thing that they're walking into, and sort of like what they are and how they would work and the importance of them?
To explain a variation, if it's a request, we as the project manager would send this request to the contractor. Let's say design change, for example, and the builder would give us that price, and we would have to go back to the client and explain that this is the price that it's come back at. We'd have our QS assess these costs, and you'd hopefully get a line-by-line item to be able to support that variation and why this change has resulted in these costs. Like, one change isn't just as simple as making one phone call and there you go, it's done. It's realizing that the amount of work and effort and people that goes into really getting that end result is is quite big.
If you got two parties, a principal and a contractor about to sign a construction contract, make sure that both parties have read and understand what their risks and responsibilities are. And I say we're often negotiating or supporting the principal side, negotiating, but it makes life so much easier if you have that open conversation with the builder to say, this is what's going in your contract. This brief is going in your contract. You've got to own that. Anything it says in there, you've got to do. Please review it. And if there's any issues, we need to talk about them now and not talk about variations in 6 months' time where there's potential for rejection and vice versa. Clients need to understand what risks they have, what responsibilities they have when they sign on the dotted line. Also, make sure you get a client-side project manager.
Well, thank you very much, Will and Ella. It's been wonderful chatting with you. And yeah, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Jacob. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to know more about construction and get all the professional tips, tricks, and AI advice from real construction project managers, follow this channel for more insights.